Well, hello there. Guess what? It's season 2, and we'll really call it season 1 because it's an entirely new track that we are on together. Mind is Matter. Welcome. My name is Makaija. If you have not yet been introduced to the former podcast, Direct Sunlight, this is a new version, an updated version on what some things we have discussed have been, and then some things we haven't discussed at all. But either way, we're going to go to church today. You know why? Because you imagined your way into hell. Are you in hell right now? Physical hell, mental hell, emotional hell. What happens when you wake up? What happens when you lie down? Emotionally, physically, mentally. What happens when you're all alone and it's just you, yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your past, your future? For a lot of people, from what I hear, it is pretty hellish. It's pretty hellish. It's pretty hellish, right? And hell takes many forms. So I'm going to ask you a question. I already know the answer. Have you been to church lately? You're like, how'd she know the answer if I've been to church? Yeah, I've been to church. Nah, I ain't been to church. I ain't been to church in 10 years. How does she know the answer to that question? It's a good question you're asking, right? I'd answer that for you, and I'd actually say yes. You've been to church lately. Every day in your mind, you go to church. You're in church. How do I know this? If we just look at the simple word, the use of the word church and its original meaning, and it could be so that in many ways you'll find this to be eye-opening. And as that's taking place, let's journey into today's gift. Church comes from the Greek word, doma, from another word, kurios. The Greek word doma literally translates to the Lord's house. The Greek word kurios means master or Lord. There are 2 types of meanings, folks. Just like there's 2 types of worlds. What are they? Pop quiz. The inner world and the outer world. All things apply to both. Anything applies to both. What is within becomes without. When we know what words mean, we can apply the proper meaning of the word to our lives. That's why I love to learn the etymology of a word, because once you know that, you're not assuming what the word means. You actually know what it means. So let's go back to it. If we're talking about going to church, and I know you go to church every day. Why? Because it's the Lord's house. Where's your house? In your mind. Your house is your mind. You have an outer house, you have a physical home, and you have an inner home. It's your mind. So you go to church every day. Who are you preaching? What are you preaching in church? That's why I asked you when you're all alone. And this applies to when you're out in life, of course, interacting with people, things, and places. It applies to that too. It's just a little tougher to observe when you're out in the world until you've trained your mind to observe when you're in silence. It's just a little, it's kind of like putting the cart before the horse, which you can do that. You totally can. It just works better to figure out how to be in solitude and be peaceful, and then go out into the world and be peaceful. And if you haven't tried it that way, and you're thinking, maybe that could work, you might be onto something. I don't know. So, why are we talking about church if we're talking about imagining our way into hell? How do these things tie together? Your imagination is the key to your life. As far as I have experienced and learned, my imagination, I'll put it in the first person and repeat this after me if you'd like. My imagination is the key to my life. It's the key to everything that I want, everything that I desire. So I like sometimes to pull things from the book called the Bible. And if you haven't heard the discussion we had on that, go listen to the last season of Direct Sunlight episode, because I don't know which episode it is because I didn't name it, on the Bible. I would have to listen to it. So go ahead and listen to it. If you remember, please, comment to me. Let me know where you remember hearing that at. That way I can share with these other folks who are listening for the first time where to find it. But basically, I like the Bible because there's a lot of truth. And you know how I know there's a lot of truth? Because they hide a lot of books of the Bible from the people. And so if you've been around this world, for 10 years past 18 or so, like myself, you're probably aware now that anything that's worth having to the people is typically hidden from the people. So I like to take what we are given, right? Because there has to be a lot of truth in that as well. And I've applied these things in my life. I've seen others apply it to their life, and it works. So I'm going to read this from, it's the book of Ephesians, I think it is, chapter 4 of 22. And it says that ye put off concerning the former conversation of the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and holy and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. So just back to 22, that you put off concerning the former conversations the old man, which is corrupt according to deceitful lusts. What does this mean? In my head, in my mind, and I went through this on my own and kind of, took what I read and applied it to my mind and my life, and putting off the former conversation of the old man. It's not an old person, it's the old you. Shut off the former conversation of the old you, which is corrupt according to deceitful lusts. Deceitful lusts isn't women throwing themselves all around onto tables half naked and, oh my God, the guy just can't resist but to stick his thingy in her. No, it's not, the deceitful lusts. What is lust? And I haven't even looked up the definition. But if I do, which I will right now, if I look up lust, defined, I look things up kind of weird. Okay, lust is a noun, third person, to lust after something, past tense, lusted. Come on, buddy, just give me the delight, right? Okay, so pleasure and delight. Deceitful pleasures is all that means. A deceitful pleasure could be, and maybe you know, take it for what it is. One day it's going to click for you, just like it clicked for me. But a deceitful pleasure could be getting into a fight with somebody that you love, doing something that's going to make them tick. And it's not because you're intentionally doing it. It's because you are deceitfully pleased by the emotion of anger. You know, people like to get into fights. Have you not met people like that? Have you not met people who love fights, love being sad, love being upset, love being woe is me, love being the pitiful person? Like, you've met people this way. Those are deceitful lusts of the mind, is to enjoy those types of negative, drowning ways of being. Okay? So this is why I like this book, because just that one thing we take so much from, that you put off concerning the former conversation, the old man. Put off the former conversation of the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts. Those deceitful lusts of negative energy, of negative action, of negative thoughts. Oh, they're only doing well because da-da-da. Oh, they said this to me because they really feel this way. Ooh, oh, I don't think they really meant it that way. Oh, they gave me a compliment. It was probably backhanded. Like, those are deceitful lusts, okay? And I'm being repetitive here because I really want that to sink in. Now, as we continue on this exploration, the second portion is, and be renewed in the spirit of what? Your mind. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Put off the former conversation that is pleased with these things that are deceitfully pleasing us. Right? Because when we argue, when we fight, we don't get closer to the people. Right? We get further away. Typically, some people do get closer. I'm not doubting that. I'm not saying, you know, some arguments that are taken care of in a responsible way can't be overcome and actually used as a stepping stone. But look around you, divorce rates are at 50-60%. It doesn't seem like arguments are helpful in this world, right? It doesn't seem like that's how we're utilizing these energies. Now, being renewed in the spirit of the mind, according to the old man, you were one way. Well, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Renew your mind. Renew your thought process. How do we do that? By putting off the former conversation. So how do we imagine our way into hell? How did we even get into this place? It's simple. Former conversations of the mind and with others. Former conversations of your own mind that you have with yourself. And if you don't think you converse with yourself, I encourage you, I invite you to take a step back and watch your thoughts for a moment. Can you hear them? You can hear them. Those are the conversations of the mind. Conversations with others, it's obvious. When I open my mouth and speak, that's a conversation with another. This is how we imagine our way into hell, into boredom. Hell can be anything for anyone. Hell is anything you don't want in your life. Hell is anything you don't want anymore. Anything you don't want to be a part of, anything that doesn't feel right to you, that's living in hell. How else did we get here? Former negative attitudes and the moods of the old man, of the old person. Any negative attitudes that you hold on to, former moods that you had, all of those things. Former lies told on your neighbor. Your neighbor, who's that? It's yourself. You are your neighbor, dwelling in your mind. Your mind will tell you anything to protect you, even if it is untrue. So you must gain control of this thing. That's the I've figured it out. No, I'm kidding. Part of it, it really is kind of like one of the meanings of life to an extent. And once you get to that place, of course, there's another place and another and another, and it just keeps going. But for us, right here, right now, we got to get to the place of controlling our minds, our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts, our actions. We also got here by former ties to old beliefs and old views of life that we used to have. Any former ties to beliefs, right? I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that, I can't cook, I can't, I'm not creative, oh, they're smarter than me, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff got you right where you are today. Former differences between you and another, former perceived differences. Any former perceived differences between you and another individual is exactly what got you here today, because you are me and I am you. The things you don't like about me are dwelling right within your body, right within your spirit, right within yourself. And it's not up to me to deal with them. My job is to show you those things. Just like your job is to show me the things about me that I do not like. And then within myself, not trying to change you, change myself, my perception of those things, right? Why don't I like them, right? So how do we imagine our way out, right? We've talked about how we got in this stuff. How do we imagine our way out? We already have some clues. Be renewed in the spirit of your mind. What was the next part, right? This is Ephesians 4, verse 24 now. And that you put on the new man, right? This is what everybody's talking about. Affirmations and visualization. All this stuff is exactly what we're talking about. Put on the clothes of the new person. What is that new person comprised of? You got to decide that first, okay? Got to decide, who do you want to be? If not who you are, who do you want to be? What's the best absolute version of yourself you can imagine yourself being? You got to decide that. Once you decide it, believe it. Believe it. Be renewed in your mind. Believe that. Allow it to come to your mind and actually live that way. Put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness. That is the coolest part. That's the coolest part. The Creator created us after it. Meaning we are everything we want to be. Time doesn't exist. Everything exists right here, right now. The thing you want exists right now. The person you want to be exists right now. The only difference is who you think you are and who that actually is. That's the reality we live in. And I'm not the only person who's out here talking about it. So another way we can do it is just forget the old conversations of the mind. Allow the mind to just talk. Allow the mind to do its thing. Let it run its mouth. It can talk all day. Let it do its thing. The more you fight with this mind thing, the less chance you have at getting control of it. It's the less power you give it, the more you can take the reins. Imagine more desired conversations happening. Just imagine yourself having better conversations in your mind, and you'll start to do that. Like, just sit here right now and imagine yourself. If you don't like the conversations going on, when you're quiet, when everything's quiet, there's no music on, or even when music's playing and you're just listening to your mind and the music's just bumping in the back, you're not jamming to it, right? Imagine right now yourself in whatever place that is, sitting on your bed, about to lay down, and just imagine yourself having more desirable conversations in your mind. Just imagine looking at yourself. You're like, oh, there I am. Oh, I'm so cute. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm smiling because I'm having some good conversations in my mind. I'm actually thinking of positive things happening for me, good things happening to me, and me being a good person. And those will start to happen for you. This is what I meant by the beginning. The imagination is the key. It really is. Forgetting the old attitudes and the old moods and emotions, right? Forgetting all those old attitudes of being enticed by anger, enticed by even lust. Lust is a thing, but there are different types of lust. We've already gone through this, right? And imagine the new moods and attitudes that you do desire. Do the same thing we just did. Imagine yourself feeling a better mood when somebody's rude to you. Do you know I've done this? I did this exact thing, guys. I'm not sharing things with you that I have not done and practiced 100% myself and actually have obtained multiple results from. That's how I live my life now, right? It's a way of life for me. I have gone, and just ask anybody who knew me 7 years ago, if I walked into a grocery store, man, and that clerk, like if I was checking out and the clerk did not say anything to me, if they were just rude or like, hey, what's up? Like, and they weren't like, hey, how's your day going? Oh my God, nice to see you. Like, I had this standard. It was nuts of just being so irritated every time somebody was rude to me. I just held people up to this silly standard in my mind. And I imagined myself going to the grocery store. Once I was like, I don't want to be this way anymore. I imagined myself going to the grocery store, going out to places where this would typically happen. And I imagined myself being cool with it and not even caring. And then guess what? It happened. It happened. And every time I've imagined anything in my life and really felt like that's me now, it happens because it has to. Now, forget the old lies that you would tell on yourself. And this one's running a little longer. First episode always will run long. I'm kind of introducing the whole program right now. We're diving into some good stuff. Yo, I told you, this is Mind is Matter, baby. Mind is matter. Okay? I mean that. So let's get back to it. We're almost done. Forgetting the old lies that you would tell on yourself and imagine truths that are already yours to know, and they will appear. Again, imagine forgetting the old lies you tell on yourself. I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm not smart. All those lies, I didn't grow up in the right neighborhood. All of that is blah, blah, blah. It's blah. It doesn't make any difference. Okay? Forgetting about it and imagining the truths that are already yours to know about. What are those truths? I'm healthy, I'm well. I'm rich, I'm wealthy. And rich is in every way. Wealthy is in every way. I have money, more money than I need. I don't live paycheck to paycheck. Those are rights, divine rights that are yours, that are mine. It just is that way. And oh my God, the sooner we come to this conclusion, we will all be better off. Imagining the truths that are already yours. It's already yours. Forgetting the differences between you and others and imagining a world where we actually do get along with varying opinions, respected, loved, and cherished opinions, and just cherished by others and loved by others. We can imagine that world into existence. Forgetting the differences between you and others, forgetting who you used to be and imagining yourself being who you want to be, doing what you want to do, and having what you want to have. Are you starting to get the picture? When you place your imagination in the forefront, and this includes your mind, your body, as well as your emotions, your imagination is all of it. It's all encompassing, because can't you imagine the taste of your favorite meal? Just picking it up, taking a bite, you can start to taste it. You're salivating. Can't you hear your favorite music? Your favorite song. You can hear it, but it's not playing. Can't you see, if you close your eyes, the incredible beach off the coast of California or the Bahamas, Hawaii, Thailand? Can't you see that? Can't you hear the ocean waves? Wait. Can you smell? Can you smell the seawater? It's all in your imagination. All of it. Forget who you used to be and imagine yourself being who you want to be, doing what you want to do, and having what you want to have. Imagination's not complicated. We make it complicated with the things that we pay more attention to. We pay more attention to this 3D physical manifestation, this world, than we do to our own imagination, because we've been taught that the 3D world is more real. Be realistic. Oh, that's not reality. Oh, is reality? I mean, what is reality? Go look that up. I bet now if you Google what's reality, you're going to find quantum, you're going to find hologram, you're going to find matrix. Like, you're not going to find solid matter. Like, you're going to find some quantum stuff. You're going to find some stuff that has nothing to do with what you can see, taste, feel, and touch and smell with your physical senses. It is not out there. And any scientist nowadays will tell you that. The sooner we come to agree with that truth, the sooner we come to accept that truth, your life will become so beautiful and so wondrous. You will wonder, what took me so long? And you'll wonder, how many other people can I share this with? So, we are what we think we are. Focus on what you want and allow the world to do what it does, while you bask in the knowing that what you want is happening right now. Remember, time doesn't exist. So welcome to the very first episode of Mind is Matter. Love you guys so much for joining. To all my faithful folks out there, this is just the beginning. We're going to have some powerhouses on this season. I've even got 2 folks who I've never met before who want to be included. We have a lot to share, and we have a lot to do. We are here to grow. We're here to learn. We're here to be better, do better, and have better. I love you all so much. And let's end this with a quick affirmation. Open up those palms. Tilt your chin. Close your eyes if you can. And repeat after me. I now enter into my secret closet, and I shut the door. I shut out doubt and fear, and I shut in with faith and love. I am beautiful. Look at myself. As I see myself healthy. I see myself smiling, happy. I see myself loving, and I see myself being loved. I see the most beautiful glow on my face. And I see how relaxed and comfortable that I am as myself. I see myself. Look at how wonderful I am. Wow. Thank you, Divine Self. Now I want to thank Reverend Ike for teaching me these beautiful things. Man, when you do these, it's amazing. And you got to talk to yourself. You have to actually talk to the molecules, the atoms, your heart, your organs. Talk to your brain. Talk to your feet. Talk to your hands. Tell yourself what is going on. And you yourself will be fully in control of everything that you want. I love you. I love you. I love you. I will see you on the next episode. And always remember, mind is matter. Be the sun, not its rays.